go back to the esoteric philosophy. The esoteric philosophy is a view of the universe in which the human being and the cosmos are explained not only in terms of the physical aspect, not only in terms of the mental or intellectual aspect, but also in terms of a spiritual aspect. When we talk about philosophy, we usually think of a set of ideas, a body of ideas that were developed by a person, a philosopher, who by intellectual efforts is trying to find out, to guess to a certain extent, the explanation for different problems in human knowledge. Why we are here, what's the nature of God, what is good, what is evil. But in what we understand as philosophy, in the Western approach, the modern Western approach to philosophy, it is basically the outcome of the powers of reasoning of a person. Now, the esoteric philosophy is not like that. Blavatsky didn't write down something that is the outcome of her ingenuity, her reasoning on certain problems of human knowledge or existence. She claims that this esoteric philosophy comes from people who can actually have a direct perception of all these topics, and partly also from her own experience and her own direct knowledge. So the esoteric philosophy, as we are going to see, we will explore the main tenets of this esoteric philosophy, was presented for the first time in modern times in the West in the book that A.P. Sinnett wrote, which is called Esoteric Buddhism. A.P. Sinnett was in touch with two of these adepts or Mahatmas, as they are known, which got involved in a correspondence with Sinnett and with another Englishman. They were both English, Hume. They were living in India, and through Madame Blavatsky and some other disciples, they began to receive some letters from the Mahatmas. Now, this knowledge that was collected little by little through the letters was published by Mr. Sinnett in the book The Esoteric Buddhism. And it was the first attempt to present a systematic approach to or exposition of part of the esoteric philosophy. The book was successful to a large extent, although it was fragmentary and it had some errors or some mistakes. So a few years later, the Mahatmas asked Madame Blavatsky to write this book, The Secret Doctrine, to present a wider exposition of the esoteric philosophy. So through the Secret Doctrine, Madame Blavatsky presented many subjects that the esoteric philosophy postulates, which were in print for the first time in the West in a public sense, in a public way. Because previously there were many traditions that had parts of this knowledge, but they were taught and they were studied in a secluded way, with secret societies, with small groups. But now, for the first time, at least in modern times, we have a publication of a wide range of topics as seen by the esoteric philosophy. So this was one of the aims of Madame Blavatsky while writing The Secret Doctrine. It tried to show that there is a different view of human beings, which is neither the Christian view of the time, nor the scientific view of the time, nor the spiritualistic view. None of these approaches were complete enough from the point of view of Madame Blavatsky. The Secret Doctrine produced a great impact in the world, especially in the world of esotericism. Most of the occultists that came out of at the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century, they were members of the Theosophical Society, like Max Heindel, who founded the Rosicrucian movement, or Pappus, who was into Kabbalah and some more practical magic schools like the Golden Dawn. He wasn't involved with the Golden Dawn in particular, but that kind of organizations. Then we have Steiner, that was also a member of the Theosophical Society, or Alice Bailey, or many others. So many people that founded movements, esoteric movements, at the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century, they were influenced by the secret doctrine. And in their writings, they recognize this. They talk about the secret doctrine. So the secret doctrine really produced an impact in the world of esotericism. And even today is read and discussed by many people, both within and outside the Theosophical Society or the Theosophical movement. Even scientists and artists and people from different movements have read the secret doctrine. Now, another aim of this book was to show that there was something like an ancient wisdom religion. You know, the concept of religion in the West, especially at the time, was that there is a God, there is one true God, and that God gave a revelation. So anything that it doesn't belong to that tradition is wrong, because it didn't come from God. Now, the secret doctrine is postulating that there was an ancient wisdom religion, ancient meaning far before Christianity, far before the Jewish, if we look at the Judeo-Christian tradition, and that this religion that was there, Blavatsky said, is actually the foundation for all the different religions that sprang during the time in different cultures at different ages. So she was postulating that there is this common source of religious knowledge in which every spiritual teacher had access to. This was an idea that, of course, was revolutionary at the time, although it had been proposed in the past. For example,